Welcome back to Defensive Coordinator U. In today's topic, we'll be talking multiple front 4-3 defense. Hey, what's going on, YouTube? Mr. Football here today. Today I'm going to give you guys a kind of a short introduction to the multiple front 4-3 defense. This is going to be a series of videos that's going to be on this playlist, and just going to kind of talk about a system-based approach to the 4-3 defense and kind of just calling it the multiple front defense, multiple front 4-3 defense. And the real goal of what we're trying to do is to create different fronts without really changing any core principles of what we do. So we start off just by, what is the philosophy of a multiple front defense? We talked a little bit about this in a previous video, but we want to, with a multiple front philosophy, we want to create new looks without confusing our players. That's the main goal of what we want to do. We want to have different fronts. We want to make fronts happen. We want to utilize a lot of things, but we don't want to confuse our players. We don't want to have all these things in and then they don't know how to line up right. We've got to make sure to master this kind of stuff. And I'm not saying that you have to have 8 to 10 fronts in every game plan, but it's about finding what balance you have. And so the multiple front may mean that you have a bunch of different things you could be, but the one thing that it doesn't do is that it doesn't really change the core philosophy of what you do defensively. So the main goals of what we try to do is that we want to create new looks without confusing our players. We want to create multiple fronts that means different looks that the offense is going to see. So if we line up in an even front, 4 defensive linemen down, and then all of a sudden, like, we walk one of the linebackers up off the edge, we've just now created a odd front. And so we don't necessarily change the personnel. Like, say, it's not like we're adding another defensive lineman to the field. Now, you could obviously do that if the situation was there, but just in simple terms, like, if we're playing high school football, we are pretty much putting the best 11 players on defense. Like, that's the goal. We want to put the best 11 out there. So your, 5th defensive lineman, may not be in consideration of being the best 11. So, like, you gotta make that kind of transition happen naturally. And so, being multiple front, we can jump off and say we want to back one of those defensive linemen up to a linebacker spot and play a 33 stack defense. Like, there's all kinds of things you can do with this. But the other thing, just kind of getting back to the PowerPoint here, we want to utilize simple calls that adjust the front. That's what we do with this. We make simple calls that adjust the front, and it doesn't break the core principles of the defense. And the one goal that we don't have, the goal is not to confuse the offensive line, because if the offensive line is worth anything, they will pick up what you have. It's not that hard. It's not about disguise and deception. It is about creating a different front to essentially get something that we want as the defensive play caller. So the fronts that we get into, we'll go through in more detail in later videos. But just kind of an introduction here, and I've got something special for you guys today for watching this video. We'll explain here in the end. The 4-3 over front, this is just your basic over front where we overset to a tight end. And so our defensive end, we'd say is our strong side defensive end, would line up as a 9 technique on the outside shade of the tight end. We want to set our tackle to the play side of the guard, or what we would say the strong side of the guard. Being a 3 tech, we'd have a shade nose. And then our defensive end, our weak side defensive end, would be in a 5. And he always plays a 5 technique. Linebackers really don't change until you start, until they start having multiple receiver sets. So this is kind of just base home alignment for them, and you won't see them change a whole lot. An easy one, and this one a lot of teams do. We do this in our 4-2-5 stuff, but we run a G front. The G front, all it is it just changes one person from over to G. Over front's kind of the home base of where we all start, but G front is an easy adjustment to just widen that nose out. And this is I really like this against inside zone, where they're going to run at that natural gap. Sometimes you have in even fronts that the little bubble. They may run weak side ISO, and you kind of close that down. So that's over, or excuse me, that's the G front. The next one is eagle. Eagle front gives you an eagle in terms of 4-3 is most times just referred to as an under front. So you can call it under front, over and under. I've used those interchangeably, but eagle front is used as we walk the Sam linebacker down. He essentially takes the spot of that defensive end, and we just move the defensive end down to a 5 technique. Really like this against heavy run teams, double wings, wing tees, stuff like that. Gives you a different look there, but it doesn't really change a whole lot other than just, walking down, and nobody's rules really change here. Like we're still, if you're a spill player, you're still a spill player. If you're still a force player, you still do all that. So these are just some simple fronts that we get into. We're going to talk more about these different things we can do out of them. But the main caveat of watching this video is that I have a free resource for you guys. And this link is in the description of this video, and you can download the free 4-3 playbook that I've developed that has, I believe, if you click on this, I think it's eight fronts that we have. It may be 7. But it's got our fronts in here, and this is a free playbook that I'm giving to you guys, and it's at multiple 4-3 defense, no slash, .card.co. And so this is what the website will pull up as. And there's really not a whole lot to this. Like it'll say get the free playbook. You'll click on that, and it will take you to a link here. You'll have to get a Dropbox, I believe, but it should allow you. Yep, there's our 7 fronts. And so you can print this off, and this is all it is. Like it's not a complete playbook by any means, but it's definitely the fronts that we use in this system. So you've got your eagle sets where, if you want to be more of a underfront look, you can do an eagle, an eagle G, eagle cheat, all of these things. And we can talk about, the specifics of what all these is. And this is not a complete playbook by any means, but we are going to talk about the different things we do out of this. And so you definitely need to be running a quarters coverage behind the 4-3. That's what it's meant for. So I'm not a cover 1, cover 3, cover 2 kind of thing here. We pretty much, like, if we're going to do this, we're going to play quarters behind this. And so that's why the coverage stuff isn't included in this. So these are just the fronts, and there's not a whole lot to it, but that's just kind of a little thing. So, but you, if you want to get more to this, then you definitely need to stay back or can subscribe to the channel and make sure that you are checking back for our newest videos on this. So I hope you guys enjoy that little free download. And like I said, if you go back to the other page here, I have a playlist on YouTube for the 4-3 defense. Then you can watch all our videos that's going through this. And so we'll just continually add them to the playlist, and there'll be more popping up in the coming months. So we will see you guys next time. I'm Mr. Football. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and turn on the notification bell. Like this video if you like the video. We'll see you guys next time. I'm Mr. Football, and I'm out of here.
Perfect.